Hello, my name is George Becker. I'm the President of the United Steelworkers of America. I want to take a few minutes to talk to you and your family about the strike at Wheeling-Pittsburgh Steel. No one needs to tell you how serious this strike is for you and your family and the huge impact it is having on your communities. But as the President of your union, I want to share with you some of my own thoughts about the situation. First, let's remember why we are on strike against Wheeling-Pittsburgh Steel. This strike is about providing for your future and the future of your families. This strike is about pensions. It's about providing guaranteed and secure retirements to the workers who sweat away their working lives in a steel mill. This strike is about seniority. It's about the company wanting to have the right to make you do whatever they want, whenever they want. This strike is about health care. It's about transferring the cost of a decent health care program from the company to you and your families. This strike is about a secure future. That's what it's all about. That's what we're fighting for. There's been a lot of discussion in the media recently about just whose strike this is. Well, make no mistake about it. This is your strike, yours and your families. It's not George Becker's strike, and it's not a contest between George Becker and Ron LeBeau. It's a strike about 4,500 steelworker families and a company that is trying to deny them a decent contract. But just so you know where I'm coming from, let me tell you a little bit about myself. In 1944, at the age of 15, I went to work at Granite City Steel in Granite City, Illinois. My job was to work under an old steam-driven breakdown mill where the ingots coming out of the soaking pit were broken down into slabs, and under a three-high reversing mill where the slabs were given their first pass before going into the rolling mill. It was one of the dirtiest and most dangerous jobs in a mill. I worked in a pit under the mill, operating a fire hose that I could barely control. Oil, grease, and hot scale that came off of the rougher rained down on me. At times I wondered if I would come out of there alive. Except for a few years in the military, I worked for over 20 years in the mills in and around Granite City. I became active in my local union, serving on a grievance committee, and eventually as president of Local 4804. I know what it means to work. I know what it means to go on strike. And I know what it means to sacrifice. I know what our union has done to provide decent lives for steelworkers. Nobody wants to go on strike. But if you don't stand and fight for yourself, for your family, and for your future, if you don't stand up to the Ron LeBeaus of the world, they will strip you not just of your pension, they will strip you of your dignity and anything else that they want to take. Now let's look at Ron LeBeau, the man that today controls Wheeling-Pittsburgh Steel. Ron LeBeau is a rich man, rich beyond your wildest dreams. He has never worked in the steel industry. He doesn't understand the needs of working families. Since buying into Wheeling Pit, Ron LeBeau and a few of his friends have made enough money to pay for the entire cost of a guaranteed pension plan for the more than 4,500 workers who are on strike. In addition, Mr. LeBeau continues to extract each year as a consulting fee $5.5 million from Wheeling-Pittsburgh Steel. Think about that. And then ask yourself whether or not you are right to demand that they pay you a decent pension. Who creates the wealth? Who made Wheeling-Pittsburgh Steel one of the wealthiest steel companies in the world? You did. Since 1985, you and your union have turned the company around. You have taken it from bankruptcy to become one of the most profitable steel companies in the country. Today, your company sits on a nest egg of over $400 million. This is the money that you created. And now we are saying it's our turn. But even more important than that, Ron LeBeau promised that you would get this pension. He promised that when Wheeling-Pittsburgh came out of bankruptcy that you would get a defined benefit pension plan. It's up to us to make sure that he keeps that promise. We talk a lot in the steelworkers about union solidarity, but we also live it. We lived it at Ravenswood, which is not too far from the Wheeling-Pittsburgh plants. We lived it at Bridgestone Firestone, where we recently took on and beat the largest and most powerful rubber company in the world, a company 10 times the size of Wheeling-Pittsburgh Steel. We recently fought off a company challenge at Northwestern Steel and Wire. And we fought and beat WCI, Warren Consolidated Industries. And we did the same thing to Lucan Steel. The simple fact is, solidarity works. When working people come together, in their union and stand together, we always win. Remember, you are part of an international union. 750,000 working men and women in the United States and Canada. And in the Steelworkers Union, when you pick a fight with one steelworker, you pick a fight with all of us. Your international union is going to apply all of the resources that we can to help you win this fight. We're in this together. Right now, steelworkers from all over the country are donating money that will be distributed to you and your fellow steelworkers at Wheeling Pit. Your entire union is standing with you in this struggle. Some of you have asked when this strike will be over. Unfortunately, no one can say with certainty when it will end. But I can tell you this strike will end the moment Ron LeBeau is convinced that we're not going to break, that we're going to hang tough, and that he's not going to destroy our union. The company will give in the day they're convinced that we never will. I was disappointed, as I know you were, that the latest negotiations in New York did not succeed. Let me assure you that we are prepared to return to the bargaining table anytime, anywhere, and any place that the company comes prepared to bargain in good faith. But we will only reach agreement when the company is willing to give us the contract that you and your families deserve. In closing, let me say this. We are winning this strike. Ron LeBeau has already gambled away $75 million of his stockholders' money, betting that you would accept a second-class contract. He lost that money and is now starting to feel the heat. I know that this struggle is difficult for you and your family, but I also know that if we stick together, we will win. So let me urge you to get behind your committee, get behind your elected leaders, support them, let them know that you support them and that you're with them in this struggle. If we do that, we can bring this to an end and win the victory that you and your family deserve. And we can get about the business of making steel in these valleys again. Thank you.